Straight, no chaser.
This time we're recording it. So, we're going to get into some things and do some things and talk about some things. And yeah.
We just talked about COVID-19. We talked about health. I mean, what else you want to do? You want to just talk about religion too? Man, goddamn.
Yes, absolutely.
Whenever you want to set this
There
up.
you go. Pop this bad boy off so we can get started. Welcome to yet another episode. Let me get this off my screen. Welcome to another episode of Straight No Chaser the podcast. Thank you for tuning in. And you, please like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your coworkers. We are everywhere that you can find podcasts, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, you name it, we there. And we just gonna introduce ourselves real quick in case people out there don't know who we are. My name is John. Rasheem, go ahead and introduce yourself. Yikes, we having a little technical difficulties. I can't hear Rasheem. I don't know if y'all can. Can y'all hear Ra?
No, it's not on.
Like this. Can y'all
There
hear?
you go.
Yeah.
Oh man, my little microphone keep acting up. So it's not that people can't, they don't know who we are, John. We got to introduce ourselves because people, not if they
New
don't.
listeners, new people.
They don't. Even people who old listeners, they probably calling KG Oxen and calling Ja, Rasheem. It's ridiculous. So it's Ra. What's up, y'all?
There you go. Okay.
What's going on? It's Neil. We here again. What's going on? Pass it over to my brother Keltric.
What up? Let's get it in.
There you go. So fearsome,
Good job,
foursome, back again for another episode. We got a whole lot to go over with. Gentlemen, let's start with the important thing first. What are you drinking? We got to get that established and out the way. It's called Straight No Chaser for a reason, people. So is anybody drinking anything other than water tonight? That's when you know you old, when you got to drink water late at night.
Nah, I'm good. I'm on my water right here, fam.
There you go.
San Pellegrino.
That's still water. What in the hell is that? I don't know.
Candy.
Whatever. Okay. So we all drinking water. That's what happens when you 40 something plus. Anyway, so speaking of 40 plus, we all have a lot of experience with relationships and things of that nature. And one thing that happens in a relationship is, unfortunately, you break up sometimes. So as many of y'all know, Cardi B, and I always get this man's name wrong. I'm pretty sure it's Offset, but I cannot guarantee that that is the member of the group that she married.
Yeah.
That is? Okay.
Yeah.
Cardi B and Offset married, had a baby, and broke up once because Offset was cheating on her or something like that. And then they got back together, and then Cardi B said she was going to divorce him, and now apparently they got back together. So I just wanted to get y'all's feedback about that whole makeup to breakup thing, because it just seems very destructive and toxic from my perspective. But they are in their early or mid 20s, and it's different at that point in time.
It's not different. It's not different. You got people out here scared to be alone. That makeup to break up, that's all we do. That's all stylistics. And people just scared to be by themselves. I think you're right. I think it's crazy. I think it's toxic. It may be they just know each other, and sometimes they need to just give each other a space to breathe and then come back together. I don't know. But if you break up for a reason. I don't understand the whole run back to a person. I don't get it.
Well, I don't know. I think that's premature. We only know about it because they're public. There's plenty of people that are just like you and us, all of us on this thing, who go through that same cycle of events in a relationship. So we can't be judgmental about it. We just have an opportunity to see to peek behind the window till the curtain is revealed. So we get a chance to see it kind of up close and personal. I mean, hell, plenty of people go through those ups and downs of turbulent times in their relationships, and they reconcile or they be estranged, or they just get, they divorce. So all of those things are plausible and it can happen. So I don't wish divorce on anybody.
Word.
I love to see a black family kind of stay, you know, solvent and together. If they make it, great. If they don't, more power to them.
And for me, I guess I'll take a little bit of everybody's thing. The only reason we knew about it was because they made it public. So at the end result, for me, if you could work it out for the sake of your children, if you really care for each other, y'all can make it work. Like Ross said, maybe sometimes you need a break. But if you needed a break, the way they made it seem like a break was different, but it really ain't none of our business. You know what I mean? The only reason we have input and really talking about it because they want to share it with the world. But at the end of the day, if you can resolve your issues and y'all can stay together and it's healthy, you know, good. But if in another 2 weeks, 2 months, we gonna hear, oh, they're gonna separate and divorce again, well, then it's just a media circus. But at the end of the day, if they can make it and it can last and be official, more power to you.
Well, I mean, the thing is, allegedly, the reason that we know about this is because, yeah, they both are on social media and so on and so forth. But y'all might not know about this. Offset bought Cardi B not just a rose, but like a bunch of other stuff for her birthday that happened and et cetera, et cetera. And she flat out came out on social media because people was like, why are you getting back with him, so on and so forth. And she said, well, number one, I wanted some dick, number one. Number two, he bought her this Rolls Royce and, or was it a Bentley? He bought her some kind of luxury vehicle. And she was just like, look, everybody does this. Just because we are famous or rich doesn't mean that we're any different than anybody else, blah, blah, blah. My thing is saying that you're going to divorce somebody is very destructive, in my opinion. So that's not something that you should play with. That's kind of like a line in the sand. So once you've gone past that, to me, that's a wrap. Like that's one of them things that you can't take back no more. So when you allow somebody that can kind of dangle that kind of status and say, okay, I'm gonna divorce you, I'm gonna take you back, I'm gonna divorce you. For me, that would be a bridge too far. And that's where it gets toxic. And a whole bunch of people are gonna say, well, the reason that she wanted to divorce him is because he kept cheating on her. No, it's toxic. Yes, that's what I'm saying. So that's why I'm at with it. But yeah, you're right. The only reason we do know about it is because they told us about it and people want to talk about it, but you know, it is what it is.
The thing is, they're in their 20s. And again, we're asking, what you're saying is, where I'm interpreting it is, they should act the way somebody in their 40s should act, somebody in their 30s or 50s or 60s should act. They're immature in that regard, right? I'm not saying she's immature as a total adult, but I agree with you. In my 40 plus years of life, that I wouldn't dangle the word divorce out unless it was something that was terminal. People nowadays, especially when you get married when you're really young, it's a trivial thing to say or do, quite frankly. So I can't put her saying I want to divorce him in the same context as if, you know, one of you guys said I want to divorce my wife. That's something very different. I would interpret that very differently if it came from one of you guys. I know your level of maturity. In a relationship, I can't say that I know her level of maturity.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my thing though. If we're gonna give them, well, one, we know about it because they put it out. I didn't know about it. I've been living in the bubble the last week, so I didn't hear about it until it was proposed that we discuss it. And I still haven't seen any of the posts or read anything up on. So I'm just really just getting it from you all tonight.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole thing is, the immaturity thing goes but so far for me. I give them a little bit on that immaturity piece, but if you mature enough to marry somebody, then you mature enough to be like, I want to get a divorce and stick with it. Like, yeah, they're immature, but at the same time, are they just being entertainers? Like, is this a part of their whole entertainment shtick? You know what I'm saying? There's more than just dangling out there for him or her. Are they dangling that out there for us? You know, is it manipulation for the masses, or are they manipulating each other? Maybe it's both. And either which way, I don't like it. It's just emblematic of a lot of stuff I just don't like in relationships in general. People are just mad overexposed. They wear their entire relationships on their sleeve for everyone and their mama to know about, hear about, see about. Like it's entertainment, like you watching television for some. My relationship ain't a television show, you know. Whether I'm famous or not, you ain't got to know my business.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you 100%, Rob, in that regard. It's similar to T.I. and Tiny. I mean, they went through that same roller coaster of events. I think pretty much anybody who puts a relationship on TV goes through that cycle of, is it, it's TV fodder. You look at the Kardashians, their relationships, all of them with it. I mean, you can even throw Kanye in that mix too. All of them have had, various relationships on television. It's all entertainment, man. I mean, once you open yourself up to that world, it becomes a little bit different, man. It's tough.
And then sometimes you put it from a different perspective. It's like the ones that don't take marriage seriously are the ones that entertainment flocks to. But the ones that actually hold it down and believe in the sanctity of marriage, nobody really talks to. It's like a 3-second snippet. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I don't know. I guess I see the perspective of, is it entertainment? Like, do y'all even really care about each other? Really? Is it just to get good publicity on yourself? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I think they care about each other. I think they love each other. I think that, again, the seriousness of marriage may be something that, in my opinion, I question the legitimacy with.
No, and that's what I agree with you in the sense of, like, maybe it's a far-fetched scheme, and I know y'all will tell me if it is, but you see like an Offset and Cardi B thing, or like you said, the Kardashian type thing, as opposed to somebody like LeBron and his wife. You don't see no scandal. That's out. It's saluted as, that's been his love since the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever goes on behind the scenes in their marriage, whether they have discrepancies or not, we don't know about that. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like, why are you telling me? Wait, say it again, fam?
They have established rules in their relationship.
Facts.
Mr. and Mrs. LeBron?
Yeah, no different than me and my wife have established rules, and Rasheem and his wife have established rules in their relationship. When you don't see what's going on, doesn't mean nothing's happening. Like I'm pretty sure everybody that's been married has had some blow up, some fight, some level of dialogue where you kind of gotta work through it. But it's just not for the masses, and they work within the rules that their marriage has.
I mean, it's also a younger generation that is just used to a higher level of, like Rasheem was just saying, letting everybody in and, kind of living your life out loud and telling people what's going on. And that's a two-way street. So if you're going to do it when everything is going good, when everything is going bad, you still going to do it because that's just kind of how you live. That's just how these people act. And that's just a younger generation. I mean, thank God we've said this many times that social media was not a thing when we was in our early 20s or mid 20s or whatever, because I mean, we would have been doing similar things.
No, we wouldn't have. No, I wouldn't have. No,
wouldn't have.
No, I wouldn't have. Because a lot of people out here seeking attention, but really what they need is help. And they acting like they want help. They putting their stuff out there. Oh, I'm going through all this. Oh, they just seeking attention.
Yeah, I agree with that, John. I don't think well, I could speak for the four of us. We would have still held each other accountable. We wouldn't have let it go as crazy as it is right now.
I would have went buck wild if there was a social media type thing.
You would have.
I mean, social media was in existence.
You had Black
back
Planet.
in those days.
You had Black Planet on MySpace.
Black
Yeah,
Planet,
and
Black
I was on all that. So
yeah, but we still would have. Well, I don't really give a damn about social media like that. I mean, it's a vehicle, but I can go without it. I'm good.
Yeah, because I don't, you know what I mean? And when you think about the power of social media, I don't know. I don't want to dig up a crazy thing, but fuck it, it's straight no chaser.
straight no chaser.
Why what's the purpose of putting your business on social? Okay, if you on vacation in Cabo, who gives a fuck? You just bought a new car. Who gives a fuck? You got the dopest female. Your husband looks amazing. You working out. You got a 6-pack abs. Who gives a fuck? Why are you literally putting every facet of your life, taking the camera, angling it just right? So why? Like, you don't get no extra followers because of that. Or maybe you do.
You do.
But you that thirsty for followers that you got to do that?
Yes. I mean, what y'all don't, or I'm not saying y'all, I have 2 quick points. Number one, I don't know if y'all have noticed this, but men specifically that are in good, healthy relationships, and probably men that's even not in good, healthy relationships, get off social media. Have y'all noticed that? Like most of the dudes that you see on Twitter, Facebook, you name it, Instagram, blah, 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 that are very active, let's put it like that, are not married, are not in any kind of situation, I don't know what the right word would be, relationship, whatever you want to call it, because as soon as you do get into them types of situations, you need to extricate yourself from out of social media to avoid any kind of conflict or issues with your actual woman who is at home with you. You can, you know, scramble it up with anybody online all you want, but when that shit starts leaking over into your real life, you start to realize I got to pull it back, and you suddenly see mad dudes no longer on there as soon as they get on some kind of relationship. Rasheem, miss me with it. Yes, you have gotten off social media. You're not nearly, I'll put it to you like this, you are not as active, let's say. And there's nothing wrong with
listen,
Look,
I think you're thinking about bandwidth. When you're in a committed relationship, you don't have the bandwidth to do what you used to do. You just don't have time for it, right? As a father now for Rasheem, I mean, I'm speaking for Rasheem. You can say it.
I was about to speak for myself, but go ahead, finish the thought.
As a father, a husband, somebody that's active in his community, all of those different types of things. Same difference, you know, for me. You just don't have time to be putting your life on social media. Now you may I do the same thing. I dabble into it, see what's going on, but it's not the crux of my life. It's not the foundation of what makes me kind of go. So I don't know if it has anything to do with just because you're in a relationship. You don't give a damn about it no more. It's not a high on a priority list.
What, Rob? What you about to say?
And for me, I am intentionally still on social media, pretty similar to what I was doing. Well, a little bit different in terms of what Cage was saying. I have a lot going on now.
Right.
My most recent job, I could sit in that office for hours and probably get maybe 50 minutes to maybe an hour and a half of steady working out of a 4-hour window because of the nature of that job. Things coming and going, slow seasons, a couple of fast seasons, but a lot of slow seasons. If I wasn't traveling, even when I was traveling, I had a bunch of downtime. But the current gig, I'm constantly moving. So while people be on social media all day long, posting and reading comments or replying to comments and starting beef, I'm like, I got a job that keeps me moving. I don't have the capacity to do all of that with a phone in my hand and be present at my job. So that's one. Two, when I'm home, there are times when I'm on social media, the wife's on social media, the daughter's on social media. Like we could be sitting on the sofa just playing around with our phones because we're decompressing, but it's not taking away from the time that we also spend with each other. You know? And whether it's new Rasheem or old Rasheem, I'm still not airing my business on social media. I'm not doing it. What I show people, that social media pretty much is my way of having a little bit of contact with the rest of the world, because I'm not that big on the phone calls. I'll be emailing and texting folk. I get annoyed when I get phone calls. Like I don't do that. So it's easy for me to like have a quick touch point with people through social media and then pull back and then go back to what I'm doing. But no, it has not. I think it would be completely different if this stuff existed when we were all at Seton Place. You would not be on it like you on it now. I don't think so.
Yeah, I was on it the way I'm on it now. I was on it then, but it wasn't nearly as socially acceptable. It was considered some nerd shit. That's the way it was.
Or productive. You got a lot of productivity. You've been very productive from your social media involvement.
Something like that. All I'm merely saying is you very rarely see, I'm not saying that you are off of social media. I'm saying that, it is not, like y'all just said, you don't have the bandwidth. You know what I'm saying? You got other stuff to be doing. And me and Neil got other stuff to be doing too, but we are there and engaging on social media for like different reasons, I guess you could say.
Neil ain't on that like that.
At all.
And Neil is not on it. Once was, has completely fallen off, and that's cool.
I think there's a season for everything, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I went 2 years without social media. like intentionally.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm on it I'm on it definitely a lot more now because it's more of an outlet for communicating political, social justice, communication, messaging, more than anything else, and just taking in information. I think right now this is the age of just being informed. Like, you just can't not be informed. I think you at a severe disadvantage if you're not informed. And so, not that I get information from social media, but I get information, and then that ties into social media because you want to share that information with the greater community. So,
Right.
that's kind of the role it plays in my life right now.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
I mean,
this from Cardi B and Offset trying to buy her back to
Well, because
prevalence of social media in our lives.
it's all tied in together. Speaking of all things tied in together.
Wait a minute, because we're talking about Cardi B.
Right.
Obviously, the new photo that kind of leaked.
What photo?
Really?
Pancakes.
what photo?
So there's she sent out a
You want me to
topless
do
photo
this?
of
You
herself.
sure? Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, KG.
I'm just saying. I mean, we talking about Cardi B. I mean, it's a part of the conversation.
Yes.
And
She sent it or it got leaked?
nah, she kind of sent it out by accident. And she actually said she owned it. It's like, listen, that's on me. That's my bag.
Would she accidentally tweet it or something? Like, how do you accidentally send out a?
What did she send? What was the picture?
A topless photo of herself with both of her breasts exposed.
I see. Okay. And was there something that was really amazing and stunning about this picture? Because everybody's seen breasts before.
Yeah. So the running joke was people were making jokes about her areolas and her nipples. And so there was caricatures about it. I mean, it was, listen.
But see, in me just being far left, how do you accidentally send out a full frontal photo of yourself? Like when you send it to Offset, and
I mean, you can send stories, right? So you sending the picture to somebody, she clearly sends explicit material through IG, clearly. And if she accidentally post to your story, that everybody that follows her can see it, as opposed to if she wants to send it to a specific group of people or a specific person. She just pressed the wrong button.
I don't believe that worth a damn.
At all.
Me neither.
And that's okay. That's perfectly okay.
Why can't she make a mistake?
That goes in the same bucket of overexposure, manipulation, trying to make sure you got your burn, and
I don't think that's it all plays into her marketing, it all plays into her image, it all plays into her career. Clicks is currency. That hit the roof. Everybody was like, have you seen Cardi B's titties? It was a big ass story. Now, for me, I'm a big fan of that look. I love, like, give me 50 to 55% titty coverage. I need areolas that's like, I want them bad boys to be teacups. I want saucers. So I was very enthusiastic about this. But other people, I know plenty of people that do not like those. There's so many different kinds of nipples. So it just led to
I will say this. I think it's the beauty of it. I think is just the journey of motherhood, because she did somebody else did a picture of her pre-baby and then post-baby, and just kind of how she grew.
Mm-hmm. She grew. That's what happens. She is maturing both physically and mentally and emotionally. So is Offset. So is everybody. So that kind of brings up another issue here. And that is, I guess, I don't know if we want to get in. I think we're going to leave that women being single thing. We've already pissed everybody off enough, I suppose.
Go for it.
Yeah, go for it.
I mean,
you got thoughts on it?
I've got thoughts on it. So basically, internet, I am very experienced, I guess you could say, on social media, as we just discussed. And I find that there are way more single women out here, not just on social media, period, that want to be married or want to be in a committed relationship or want to be, somehow spoken for than men. And I wonder why that is. And I know that everybody always says that there's this huge difference between men and women population-wise. What am I looking for? The gender gap.
Ratio.
Yeah, the ratio, where there's way more women than there are men. I know that has been proven in small populations, like at Howard University, yes. At this particular city, yes. But when you talk about like, nationally, I don't think that there's that much of a gap. And I'm just wondering why y'all think, or do you agree that there are way more educated, employed, women that for whatever reason and want to be married and are not, and why that is? Because it really perplexes and confuses me sometimes.
The question is perplexing and confusing me.
Yeah, let me get this straight. You're
Are there?
Let me unpack this. So there are a bunch of women who are
Yes.
single that want to be married, and what you're questioning, what you're pretty much saying is, what's wrong with y'all that y'all can't get married?
Nope. No. I'm saying, why is it that there is such a disconnect, I guess you could say? Because when I go out in public, I see plenty of men, okay? They're all over the damn place. But when I get on the internet, I hear women saying there are no men. So what is the disconnect? Because every time I go and this is pre-COVID, okay? Pre-COVID time, and again, this is only my opinion. I can only talk about the little area that I'm in, but whenever I went out pre-COVID, I saw plenty of buckethead, rusty dudes hanging around, soaking up all the bar space, and there would be no women. But then when you get online, it's full of women talking about there ain't no men. So there's clearly a disconnect, and I'm just wondering, do y'all see that disconnect? Do you agree with it? Am I delusional? What's going on?
If there's a disconnect, maybe it's because of what you just said. They bucket heads and they rusty. And maybe the sisters don't want a rusty bucket-headed dude.
Also, maybe the sisters don't want to go to where you hanging out at.
Possibility.
Maybe you hang out at some place that are basura. For those who don't understand, that's trash.
And I think, like Ross said, to piggyback on that, maybe a lot of sisters they don't want to settle. Like there could be a lot of dudes out there, but what they're looking for and what their expectations are, they're like, I'm not settling for less than that. You know what I'm saying? So it's a whole.
I don't know if I agree with your statement. I think that.
Wait, say it again.
I don't even know if I agree with John's statement that, because essentially you're saying that it's a lot of unworthy dudes out there. It's a lot of sisters out there that are looking for somebody, and the dudes the selection is trash.
Right.
That's what y'all are saying.
That's what you said.
No, I didn't. I said it's a bunch of dudes. They're just sitting
You
around.
labeled them rusty bucket head dudes. I mean, that's
what they pretty much look like to me. But again,
that's an insult.
Right.
Not really, because I mean, hold up your hands right now. I'm kind of ashy because I'm at the house.
So you rusty? Are you rusty too?
I probably am. I would imagine so. I would think I was. But anyway, I think that it's a problematic type thing. It kind of concerns me because I have many women acquaintances that are wonderful people, and they just say that they want a man or something, and they've been single for years, and it just always is like, what's going on here?
So do they date? When they go out on dates, what do they say happens?
I would love to bring one of them on, and one day we actually gonna have to do that. Internet, if you are a woman out there and you have been single for a long time.
Do you think that what they're telling you is a ploy to date you?
No.
It could be.
Not what I'm saying. Trust me, no. I mean, all I'm saying is.
So why are they rushing to tell you that there are no good dudes out there? They might be giving you the hint.
They're not rushing to tell me. It's not that they're rushing to tell me. It's again that I'm a member of various different communities on the internet. And these are the kind of discussions that happen on a literally daily basis.
So, internet don't make it true, man.
But you know what? But John he's not telling the lie though. Like there are a bunch of Facebook communities and internet communities, and when you get in there, they get the bickering that, not just that there aren't any men, there are no good men out there and what it takes to be a good man and da-da-da-da-da. And it might settle into something that Neil talked about, them settling. They don't want to settle for a dude. I kind of feel like, and the ladies might not like this, I kind of think that whole idea of settling, y'all be overblowing it. I do.
All for settling.
Man, listen, some people outkick their coverage. And
explain what outkick their coverage means.
It means that you think you a 10, but you might be a 5, and you only a student for the 10s, and you're never gonna get a 10 because you're really a 5. You outkick your coverage. And so I'm not saying, I mean, that a 10 could be applied to a male or a female. I'm not saying it's, to be sexist, but in reality, you may miss, it's like a stock price. You may throw out a number and you overprice that thing. You selling way too soon, or you buying way too fast. So you need to figure out and ask some friends that can be honest with you and be like, hey man, how I look? What do I got going for me? Like, what are my attributes? Like, what are my pluses? And if they tell you the truth, then you need to find out, like, all right, is this, like, are you assessing things around you properly? It happens at work. People do that all the time, misassess certain things. So don't be. I feel you.
I wasn't going there. I wasn't going there. I was.
I'm going straight.
What I was trying to put my finger on was that maybe there's a dude out there that they should date, but they would consider that settling. But once they date them, they find out that that dude potentially offers everything that they want or need. But because they saw the wrong thing up front, I'm not gonna mess with him because his shoes was dusty or he was missing the hubcap on his car or what. Not to say that sisters out there that vain, but
no. But you know what? I see what y'all saying, but I look at it like when it comes to relationships and settling and finding somebody, everybody should have what their non-negotiables are. You know what I'm saying? So they might be a multitude of dudes out there, but let's say on a woman's joint, she's like, he gotta want to work, he gotta have a job. Unemployment is real, so she may not want to be taking care of a dude that ain't working. Let's say she say, I want a dude that doesn't drink or doesn't smoke. A lot of dudes out there smoke weed and like drinking. They like, all right, so that's knocked off the list. So you got to be working. You can't smoke weed. You can't drink. A lot of dudes, unfortunately, do sometimes got to go back home and live with their folks. A woman might say, I need a dude that has his own space, his own place. I don't want to come over to you, but I'm in your mama's basement and I got to creep around. So you just knocking off a lot of things on your list. Live on your own. Don't smoke weed. Don't drink. Has a job. Yo, it's real. You start.
That's basic stuff, in my opinion.
And a lot of dudes don't have the basic stuff. We keep it 100.
They're not up to par. No different than
exactly.
In my 40s, if I happen to be single in my 40s, if you don't have a job, if you living with your mama, I ain't gonna talk to you about. We live in two different lives. We're in two different existences. I give y'all a quick story. I got into it with one of my cousins back in Indiana. I went home one time and he was telling me, like, you should come back home more often. I was like, really? I was like, when I come home, I gotta fly. I gotta buy my own plane ticket. I gotta rent a car. I get a hotel. I gotta buy my own food. You stay with your mama. You gonna hook me up when I'm not sleeping on no couch on your floor. I'm grown. We can't have the same conversation. We live in two different existences. You know what I'm saying? So I think and I get that people go through rough patches, but if you have an extended rough patch where you haven't worked in 3, 4, 5 years, then that's just you just a lazy ass bum, in my opinion. And that goes for anybody.
I mean, there are certain situations, and what people really don't want to hear is that there is a difference between men and women. Just simply is. It is more acceptable, in my opinion, for a woman to live with their family than it is for a man. Just is what it is. So women absolutely do have different, I don't know what the right word would be, characteristics that they're looking for or whatever than most dudes do, and so on and so forth. But it just seems like we just like talking past each other more often than not. And it's really sad because I know so many that are 30, 35, 40 years old and have so much to offer, and they just feel like they can't meet nobody, and it's just terrible and womp. It's just sad.
Well, men aren't very honest sometimes either, right? Women are known to put their criteria out there, and men will glossy up their resume.
Sell the dream.
You know what I mean? So, and if you can't be honest and have good communication skills and be, really, share that, your honesty with that other person, it's going to be problematic. So I think if men could be better communicators in general, I'm speaking very generally here, better communicators, better listeners, your friends, your female friends that you're talking about, John, you know, they will have a different experience with the men that they encounter.
I think
Very
that's,
well.
and I think that's too simplistic. I don't think that'll work.
I mean, it won't work because men gonna continue to gloss over their resume.
You got brothers out there who aren't, you know, glossing up their resume, who just trying to work hard, be good dudes, and they are getting shot down.
That's true.
It
But
happens.
again, they might be out kicking their coverage too.
They could be out kicking their coverage.
Looks jurisdiction is real. You got to stay in your looks jurisdiction, stay in your weight class.
I mean, but, you know, stranger things have happened. You know, we all of us have seen couples, and you're like, man, that's a interesting unit right there. But something happened, they figured it out, and bam, they made some magic. So dreams can happen.
So when you hear people throw out the statement, and just throw a 30-second caveat in it, when people say it's not all about the looks, you agree or disagree with that? Like John was saying.
Oh, it's absolute. And for me, well, anyway, y'all go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish what you're saying. For you, it's all about the looks, John?
For me, I think that physical attraction, you have to have it, but there's so much more to something than.
No, you good. You good. Keep going, John. You good. You good. You just froze for a second.
Repeat what you just said because you froze.
Okay.
My question for you, John, was, is looks the pivotal thing that you're looking for? So if I had to phrase it, if you had to choose between somebody who was emotionally, physically, spiritually on point, but the looks was decent, or the looks had to be amazing and we could work on the emotional, spiritual, which is your pivotal thing?
I think that you got to have both. You got to be attracted to the person. They got to be, looks are important, definitely. And the other aspect of things is important. You know what I'm saying? The emotional development, maturity, whatever the case is, financial stability for me personally, and various other things. So it's a lot that goes into who you're going to be in a relationship. I think if you are looking at very superficial, how somebody looks type things, again, if this was 25 years ago, 30 years ago, I might feel completely different. But at this stage, you got to have a whole lot, and really fit my lifestyle and me yours very well for me personally. So I can't really say this is more important than that. I need all of it because I don't really believe in settling either. You know what I'm saying? Like KG was settling earlier, you know what I'm saying? Or one of y'all said, don't, or to settle. Damn that. I think that you should not settle and should get exactly what it is that you want. You got one life to live. You might as well do what you can do.
See, this feels like an old school seating conversation. I love it. So where do you think the whole thing about 80-20 comes in? You know what I'm saying? Like when people say, I don't think you ever get the full package. That's what I'm saying in my words. I don't think you ever get that full package. You got to give a little something. You're not going to get that full intertwining thing I think that you were talking about.
I agree with you.
So
what is an 80-20?
you have 80% of what you want, but there's 20% that you might be missing. Can you deal with that?
That's not what 80-20 is, but I guess.
Okay, go say this perspective. I might have it off. Okay.
No, but in this context, you're accurate, but it's 20% of the issues, it's 80% of the stuff, whatever. I'm wrong too, but something like that.
Yeah.
So, no, but in John's whole thing about, he said he wants it all. Do you think?
Yeah, I don't think that's.
everybody has it all?
I'm with you. I agree with you now. I don't think 100% exists.
Right.
I'm going to have to
And let me elaborate on that. 100% in the way you want it.
Right.
Now, you can get somebody who can attempt to be that 100%, and they may check all the boxes, but I think that there's compromise that happens in a relationship, in every relationship. So I think you have to understand like what you want to compromise, and compromise don't mean give up on. It means you accept something a little bit different than what your expectation may be. And if you can do that, you should be fine.
Okay.
I feel like 100% is very capable of happening. I have experienced being 100% satisfied with women before. Now,
No. Tell people what your definition of 100% is, because your shit is a little weird.
I don't know. I mean, like,
That's too wide of a question to ask him.
I'm trying to.
Get specific for me.
You'd have to help him narrow that down to get a real response.
John has told us that he doesn't think men can be happy in a relationship.
Nope. Wait a minute.
You did say that, John.
No. It wasn't like that. Say verbatim, because that wasn't verbatim it. Go ahead, John.
And I'm here, and I can tell y'all what I said. What I'm saying is, any man that is striving for happiness, this is it. I don't know what this got to do with the current convo, but we're going to go here. Any man that is striving for happiness is, ladies, watch him, okay? Men, happiness, in my opinion, is for women and children. Men strive for contentment, satisfaction, and you might say, well, that's semantics, that's wordplay or whatever. No, words mean things. Happiness, me personally, I could not be happy if my children's financial future is not secure. I can't be happy as long as my mother's still working. When all those life responsibilities are kind of satisfied, I will be content. I will be satisfied. That said, happiness to me is temporary. Happiness is fleeting. Contentment and satisfaction is a stage. And to me, men should be aiming for that. And happiness is just some random temporary stage that, no, I don't think we should be going for.
So, but just to bring it back to that, you said you have gotten 100%.
Yes.
And according to what you just said, that doesn't necessarily make you happy. That made you content because you received 100%.
Thank you.
Yes. My question is, did you give 100%? With the person you was getting 100% from, would they have felt like they got 100%?
I can't answer that question for them, people, but they are no longer with me, so I think we can conclude no. I feel like that, unfortunately, that stage was not, long. You know what I'm saying? It was temporary, but for that period of time, I felt totally satisfied. I was like, okay, this is cool. I want to stay right here. I was not able to kind of maintain that for various different reasons with various different people, but based on my history, yeah, absolutely. I felt 100% like I was absolutely sure about the chick in college. I was absolutely sure about the woman I actually did marry. I was absolutely sure about the person that came after the woman I married. And knock on wood, one of these days I'm gonna be absolutely sure about whoever comes next.
Yeah, but those are absolutely sure is based on the contentment you felt. Maybe
right.
you shift your thinking and actually start looking to be happy, and then get someone who actually makes you happy. Maybe it changes the game.
I'm good on that.
Maybe you dating somebody that makes you happy right now.
I would just say, look at your friends. Look at your friends.
Mm-hmm.
If you think your friends are happy,
see, happiness is for women and kids. Even though I have said on multiple occasions, I am the happiest I have ever been.
Mm-hmm.
I am happy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not content. I'm not satisfied.
Right.
Satisfied and content ain't enough. I have been unhappy. I have been at the lowest of low. I'm experiencing the highest of high. I'm happy. And there's nothing wrong with a dude saying that he's happy, whether it's in relationship, work, personal life, friendships. Happiness is not something men should run from.
I'm not saying that you should run from it, and being not happy doesn't mean being unhappy. People are very binary and very black and white and feel like, okay, well, if you're not happy, then you must be unhappy. And if you're not happy, you must be depressed or whatever. That's not what I'm saying. And by all means, y'all are allowed to, feel how you feel, right? If you feel happy, God bless you, go for it, be happy. But what you seem to be experiencing is contentment, in my opinion, satisfaction. You might say that you're not content and satisfied or whatever, and I'm not in your shoes. I can't tell you how you feel. But
what definitions of words is just so weird to me, because content is.
I mean, you said it. You said words got meanings.
Words have meanings.
And contentment and satisfied lacks. It cannot express what I feel. There isn't enough there to express why I can't say I'm content and satisfied. Mm-hmm. That does not. It doesn't tell a story.
That's the price of entry.
Contentment. Yeah. You would be very if you were able to reach that level. It would be it's very, very rare in my estimation. I have not met many men that can honestly say I'm content and satisfied with where I'm at. I'm not saying that I ain't.
Well, I'm gonna say something that's gonna piss off a lot of people, especially when you're talking about relationship based, because typically folks try to find happiness by being with others. I believe that people who aren't happy, especially when it comes to relationships, is because they picked the wrong person. Period.
Facts.
They chose something that they shouldn't have chosen. It could have been looks, it could have been body, it could have been money, it could have been clothes. They picked the wrong thing. It could have been the sex. They picked the wrong thing, and over a period of time that can't be sustained. I don't care how much he's doing it to you in the bed, sis. Sooner or later, he ain't gonna be a stallion no more.
Facts.
Brother, I don't care how bad the body is. Sooner or later,
Ain't gonna be no brick house.
as it was told to me, everything that lived upstairs is gonna start to live downstairs. You can't pick people based on the superficial, crazy. Now, you have fun based on superficial, okay. You want to enjoy people's companies based on superficial, okay. But to pick someone you're gonna be with for the rest of your life.
Listen, man, you gotta have some substance to Rod's point.
Word.
And that's the 80-20 rule, right? So all of us have been with people, and the relations part has been, bomb. But the other stuff that came along with it, you was like, man, damn, like, you pulling your hair out because she's killing you. Mm-hmm. So I think that you have to determine like what's the most important. And like anything, like a battery, man, over the course of time, the battery holds a charge, 100% of the time, and then it degrades. And so you have to figure out like what are the things in your relationship that can degrade over time and still be adequate for you to still use.
Yep.
If your relationship is based on sex, when that fades to black, in a relationship. But if it's based on friendship, mutual respect, love, admiration, those type of characteristics, that really shouldn't go away. All the other stuff that kind of was a cherry on top, that stuff may fade to black a little bit, but all the essentials, in my opinion, if those remain, very solvent and solid, you should be in a good spot with a relationship.
And then the sad thing for me, I've always thought of like, if you don't know how to make yourself happy first, you can't look for somebody else to make you happy. You know what I'm saying? That's been the biggest thing for me. So I don't look for, or I'm not looking for somebody else to make me happy. I got to know how to make myself happy. Now, like Keltric said, if we get together and we form that bond and we vibing and it's like, it feels magical, all right, cool. But I think you got to learn how to make yourself happier first too, though.
Now, and I've done it all. Like I picked women for the wrong reasons all through my 20s and 30s. And I had, I learned, this was a lesson I had to learn for me. And I'm not saying everyone's going to be there. Everyone's going to know that. Everyone's going to govern themselves based on the lessons I learned. It took me, 30 years to get to this point of interacting with folk. 30 years of interacting with folk to get to this point. But yeah, God bless you, John. Yeah, hey, if contentment and satisfaction is the pinnacle for you, then, and that's the pinnacle for you, I can't tell you not to be there. Can't knock it.
I can tell you that you're missing out personally.
I'm missing out.
But I mean,
I be like Rod and everybody's saying, we can't tell you what your truth is. So if that's what you believe is your truth, cool. But we think there's more to it than that. But as long as you happy, if you happy, I'm happy for you, bro.
He's not happy. He's content.
I have no desire to. That is not a life goal for me. That's not something that I'm aiming for.
Wait, 30-second time out. You have no desire. Well, never mind. It's gonna go another.
I'm not trying to say.
Straight no chasing.
I was about to say, based on what you're saying, and I love you, John. You're my brother. Based on what you're saying, you have no desire to ever be happy. Is that what you're saying?
That is not something that I'm aiming for. That is not. I'm not a happy ass camper. That's not me. I'm not that dude. I am very much. To me, happiness denotes no issues, no problems. We're good. Everything is straight. We ain't got no problems. Everything is cool. So I would love to get to that point. I don't foresee that happening anytime soon. However, what I am aiming for, as I explained, was a level of stability, and I'm getting there slowly but surely. So I don't want to give anybody the wrong impression. I'm not about to go hang myself in the closet or no crazy shit like that. Everything is fine. I am not that guy. That's just not what I'm aiming for. So, and I agree with, I guess, what Neil was saying. I don't think that's something that can come from somebody else or whatever. You got to have it yourself, blah, blah, blah. Agreed. So we're all on the same page with John's emotional life. That said, now let's get on the same page with Ice Cube. Okay. So pivoting, as Rasheem was saying, or Neil, whomever, Ice Cube, unfortunately, got in a little bit of trouble with social media these past couple of days. People are pissed.
Black social media.
Black social media, because white social media is ignoring his ass. Basically, Ice Cube has made a contract with Black America. And it came out that apparently Trump was working with him, or he gave it to Trump and Trump did something with it and recalled it or renamed it the Platinum Plan. And now that's kind of Trump's, vision for Black people if he gets reelected. And everybody's pissed off and mad at Ice Cube because they're like, well, why are you working with Trump whatsoever? Ice Cube said that he gave his plan to the Democrats and Joe Biden, and they told him, we're not going to do anything about this or read into this until after the election. So are we okay with this? Are we all right? I mean, what do we think here? And KG, you seem like you're a fairly political type person. How do you feel about Ice Cube's plan? Number one, how do you feel about Ice Cube's plan if you've read it? Or
somebody else right quick, I'll be right back.
Neil. Well, nope. Ra. How do you feel, if at all, about Ice Cube's plan and about him giving it to Trump and all that?
I once again, I've been living in the bubble for the last week and a half, almost 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But I do know before I went into the bubble, Trump dropped his platinum plan at least 2-3 weeks ago.
Right.
No one said anything about Ice Cube until this week. But Trump had already introduced his platinum plan for Black America.
Mm-hmm.
So when I first heard of it, I thought Trump had got with his, the Black Republicans that be, speaking for him at the RNC or whatever, came up with this thing that's going to get Black people to vote for him. And as soon as I didn't read it, because the first thing that struck me is that it was called the Platinum Plan, and it was marketed to Black people. And I know hip hop love them some platinum, whether it's their records or their jewels and their ice being set in it. So I thought that was extremely condescending to begin with. So I didn't read it. And I'm thinking, what's he going to say? It's going to be Fried Chicken Thursday at the Cap on every HBCU campus from now on. We're going to have Henny at every liquor store, because, Negroes love them some Hennessy and nasty drink.
Black and Mild Tuesdays.
Black and Mild Tuesdays. So I was just like, I can't deal with it because, one, you can't believe Trump no matter what. If he says he's going to give you something on Tuesday, best believe you ain't never going to see it. Don't think, oh, maybe he'll come by on Thursday with it. Oh, maybe it'll be next Tuesday. No, you ain't never going to see it. So any Black person who said that they was going to work with Trump because they going to get their platform through with Trump, that tells me something about the Black person as well. It tells me, one, you idiotic, or two, you're so vain that you just wanted to work with whoever said, oh, I like your ideas. Sometimes we all come up with ideas we think are dope. I do it. Y'all do it. But our ideas aren't really that dope. And sometimes you need people to be like, no, that's stupid. That's not going to work. So Ice Cube, maybe your ideas were stupid and they weren't going to work because you didn't understand the political system and you didn't know how you was going to get your stuff passed. And you couldn't get it passed or it couldn't be passed. But you went to Trump and Trump was like, I'll take it. I'll do it because Negroes like chicken and waffles.
I love chicken and waffles.
Yeah, that's my thought. I'm all over the place with that. That's my thought.
Yeah.
Dummy.
Interesting. I You want to go, Neil? Or?
No, I was just because Ross said a good point, and I was just trying to see between you and Keltric if you knew. I thought, like Rod did, I thought Trump laid out his platinum package way before. So was it necessarily between Trump and Ice Cube, or did he just put a spin on what Ice Cube was proposing? How'd it go?
Nah,
He added a
so
little bit to it.
this was probably 2 or 3 months ago. Ice Cube and a bunch of other celebrities were holding their vote hostage, holding their voice hostage.
Killer Mike in them?
Huh?
Killer Mike in them? Was it?
I don't know if Killer Mike was among that group, but I definitely know Ice Cube and a few others were just like, you know, mostly black men. I mean, it's black men are really kind of holding up this umbrella. Even Charlamagne, a lot of people, like, if you don't do X, Y, and Z, they made a list of demands.
Mm-hmm.
And Ice Cube put forward his contract with Black America. He didn't say who he hoped to work with. He just said he had this contract with Black America. He was like, you know, Joe Biden, if you don't meet with me, then, you know, we ain't gonna support you type of thing. And so based on what's transpired between that moment and now, I think they had a meeting with Joe Biden's team that was announced at that time, and then they kind of went silent. So then, you know, it comes out this week where, you know, the 45's campaign said, hey, we've been meeting with this guy. This platinum plan came out maybe like a month ago, like give or take. I didn't look at it. I don't believe in anything this dude does, quite frankly. And quite literally. And I didn't read it. I mean, I just don't have any interest in it. I saw that the HBCU funding that he, you know, signed with those HBCU presidents, that could be potentially withheld because what the curriculum is at HBCU institutions. So all that is just lip service. It's not worth the paper it's written on. So I think Ice Cube, I don't fault him for taking the meeting, him and his team. I don't know who was on his team. I don't know who he consulted. You listen to you take the meeting with whoever can impact the change that you seek. In our text chain, John, you said that Malcolm X met with the KKK. I mean, Martin Luther King met with L.B. Johnson. So those things, they have to happen in order to enact some type of progress. Now, what I think Q failed to realize is the timing of everything is very specific. No different than 45 catching COVID and miraculously getting, you know, cured. That could be somewhat of a hoax. He's being pimped out. And unless he could do those things now, like he doesn't have to wait till after the election is over. He could start those things right now. And if he's waiting until November 3rd or 4th to do something, I think that's ill-advised and cocky. And Biden's team has no power. I mean, they're not elected. I mean, the only person that's elected official was Kamala Harris, but, you know, she's on the Senate Judiciary Committee, but she's not the person holding the most of the power. So I think it's ill-advised for them to do that. I think everybody should hold the Democrats accountable. They have not held up their end in the bargain with the black vote over the course of, you know, the last, you know, 30, 40 years or so. Mm-hmm. But, you know, I think Ice Cube is wrong and he's going to be eviscerated because of it.
Well, nope, he's not wrong. He's 100% right. I guess all of this is very much political theater and posturing on all sides. It disgusts me. The response to Ice Cube is absolutely infuriating. It seems to me that people are basically, right now, people are like, look, shut up, be quiet, rap, and, you know, just stay in your lane, Ice Cube, until after the election. But the thing is, after the election, they ain't gonna have to listen to you because the election is over with. They need you now. So now is the time to be like, we want some type of concrete policy laid out right now for black people, period. Whether you're Republican or Democrat is immaterial. And that's where Ice Cube was coming from. And the way that people are responding to him is ridiculous. And also, it's not top down. Legislation don't come from the president down. It has to come from the House up. So Biden can swear up and down that he's going to do X, Y, Z, which is what I've read his plan. I've read the so-called contract with Black America. The Platinum Plan is the contract with Black America with some extra wrinkles and things put into it. I'm under no illusion that Trump has any plan to enact that whatsoever. He absolutely will not.
And I just brought it up while you were talking, and it seems like the same thing that every president always tries to promise. Like I literally brought it up. I have it pulled up. I don't see anything that stands out. You know, the only thing he tried to, and it seems like it's disrespectful. Not disrespectful, but it's not even an issue. He was going to make Juneteenth a national holiday and make lynchings a federal crime. Like, okay, so that's that in the plan.
Why is that not a federal crime already? But here's the thing. That is something that the president can do. The president can make an executive order and say, Juneteenth, holiday right now. Why is it in 2020, we're just now getting to that point? Why is it that lynching is not a damn federal offense already? These are the kind of things, and it's not like Democrats have not been in power. It's not like Democrats have not been a member of Congress and so on and so forth. My whole point is this. I don't care what name follows yours, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, Green Party, Libertarian, whatever you want to be. I am for Black people, period. If you for Black people, I'm for you. I feel like Ice Cube and the contract with Black America is a good starting point. I see no reason why an Ice Cube can't say the stuff that he does. And the way that we are responding to him and coming at this whole thing from a place of fear and lesser evil rationale and vote blue no matter who and all this other madness is
it's
just
irresponsible. He was irresponsible, in my opinion, with his approach. He unilaterally, and from what I understand, it's a unilateral contract. I don't know who he consulted with. I don't know what co-authors of this contract. This is his plan. He's the person endorsing it, right? There's
a couple academics and whatnot, but I get your point.
There's no coalition of people to say, you know what, we as the Black collective endorse this. There's no majority of Black people that are saying, you know what, the contract with Black America, we that's the one we want to ride for. We want that. I read the plan, all 22 pages of it. Some things I don't agree with. This is decent for sure, but I don't think 45 was a person to get that done. I mean, he hasn't done anything. He hasn't appointed any minority judges. He had all white men.
Both Republicans and the Democrats are using these so-called plans to generate support before the election. Neither Democrats nor Republicans have any intention of enacting any legislation that does any goddamn thing that's in either one of them two plans. If Biden gets in, the next day, he is going to say, well, yes, I said this, that, and the third, but the economy is in shambles, and I got to take care of the gays first, and I got to take care of these women over here first. I got to take care of the Latinos and everything else. And suddenly is going to be wait Black people, because that is consistently what the Democrats do. And the Republicans damn sure ain't gonna do it. So to me, it is very clear that if neither political party is speaking to your interests, you got to make another one. And that's why I've been.
Yes, Rob.
So this goes back to a conversation we had early on. So let's say that happens. Whoever gets elected, Black folk get nothing out of the deal. My problem is that we're going to sit around until the next presidential election and then whine about it. That's my issue. We only whine about it in presidential election season. There's been no real serious push to hold people accountable in the legislature in between the goalposts of the 4 years.
Who would do that?
I blame that on the media too, a little bit too, Rob, because they don't.
All right. Yes, media can push narratives that they want to push, and then John says, well, who would do that? The same people who whine during presidential season are the who would do that. Like, I expect all of us who whine now about whether or not it's the lesser two evils and we're not going to get what we need, I expect all of us on November 4th to say to them, y'all got 3 months. And then we put a date on a calendar. If we see no legislation being brought up before the Congress within that 3 month period, if we going to show up for the lynchings that take place in Louisville, the lynching that took place of George Floyd, the lynching that took place of the Martin Aubrey, we're going to show up and demonstrate for that. Just like we did that, we need to consciously and say in advance, you got 3 months. You are on the clock. Our vote came out. We put you in office. You got 3 months. Maybe give them 6. I don't know. But if we're going to sit back and just chill for another 4 years and then be like, y'all didn't do nothing. Well, y'all didn't do anything to hold us accountable.
That's exactly what we're going to do.
I'm saying we're to blame for that then.
I agree with you on that.
Then we're going to have this same conversation because they are absolutely going to say, well, wait a minute, we can't get anything done if the Democrats are elected. We can't do anything right now because we've got to have more people in the House. So in 2022, we really, really need y'all to come out and elect more people in the House, and then maybe we'll handle y'all stuff.
I wholeheartedly believe that they're gonna retain the House. I believe they're gonna flip the Senate, and I believe they're gonna take the executive branch. I think it's gonna be served up to us on a platter for everybody to put up or shut up, including us. We have a strong possibility that these Democrats who want us so bad will run the table. Everyone needs to put up or shut up, including us.
Mm-hmm.
You chuckling, man? I'm serious.
It
removes the excuse we need to wait 2 years to vote more people into Congress. No, I believe we're going to have the House. We're going to have the Senate. We're going to have the only thing we won't have is the judicial branch. That's what I believe. So if we have everything except the judicial branch, there's no need to wait for another election.
And they can add seats to the judicial branch too. So
we just show up to Congress. We could show up. It's right down the street.
So like, I'm the least political, but I like what you're saying. So draw this with me, Ross. So all right, so 3 months in, whoever wins, Trump, Biden, boom. 3 months, we ain't seeing movements made the way we're supposed to do.
No. If 45 is in there, what he's saying doesn't necessarily work.
Okay, all right. So Biden's in there, 3 months in. All right, Ms. Harris, Biden, we got you in there. We're not seeing anything. The same energy we did with George Floyd and Breonna. We downtown. What's supposed to pop off then? What would prevent John's excuse from coming? Like, hold on. We got to fund education, or we got to fund this. Hold on.
Wait, what's your question?
What would happen? So if we all march like you say we do in 3 months, what would you be looking for if you were to write that script out?
If I was to write the script out, it wouldn't start 3 months. It would start a day or two after they're elected. I wouldn't even wait until inauguration. It would start a day or two from the election to the inauguration. There will be serious consideration to what a realistic and reasonable plan looks like for Black America. First off, we gotta eliminate this idea that Black people from California to New York are all the same and they're all gonna want the same thing. They're not. So these Black people running around talking about, well, Black people need this, like they speak on behalf of all Black people. They need to sit down and shut up. It has to be a coalition of Black folk who get together and say, let's have a reasonable plan that can take care of as many people as possible, starting from the low income all the way up to the middle income. And then between election to inauguration, create that, bring it to them after they're inaugurated, then tell them they're on the clock. You got 3 months, and every 3 months we coming back like a hostage taker. Every hour I'm killing somebody. And I'm agreeing with you, but so 3 months in, you come down, and then John says, all right, hold on. That's important to us, but we got to give money to education. It's a part of the whole process. You know what you do? You schedule lobby days. You educate the masses on what the issues are. John is doing all of this, but I've seen lobbying work. I've seen masses of people show up at their elected official, and their elected official be like,
okay. So maybe my top question to the whole scenario is,
that's just a piece of it. That ain't the whole thing. That's just a piece of it.
I got you. So just say worst case scenario. So we go along your every quarterly or every whatever. Nothing happens. What's the ultimate thing that people could do that would make an impact like you're saying? You don't see no results. You've given them 3 times. Nothing popped off.
All these loud mouths who don't do nothing but whine every 4 years, tell them to put their money where their mouth is. Have them raise some funds. We assist them in raising some funds. Since they are so serious about making change, in 2 years, you run them at the midpoint. You primary everybody who has a seat. Anyone who's up for election, you primary everybody. with the platform that we've already said we want to see happen.
Tea Party did.
Put you in the program. We put you in your seat. You didn't do anything. We came back. We gave you the plan. You didn't have to work hard. Now we're running against you. That's exactly what the Tea Party did. They primaried those Republicans and they got them out. I mean, John, you can't have it both ways, John. Either you're saying that the government won't do anything. The people who are elected won't do anything.
Yes.
But then you shake your head and scoff at the idea of electing people who will.
Well, because if you all remember correctly, after 2008, we had a black president, we had a Democratic Congress, we had a Democratic Senate, we had the goodwill of the entire globe, and absolutely not a damn thing.
No. I'm not going to let you tell that lie. You know what happened after Barack Obama? You know what happened after they had the Senate, they had the House, and they had the executive branch? Everything that Barack Obama ran on, he accomplished. You're talking about stuff he didn't run on. He never ran on
hold on. He said
Black
hope
America.
and change. Is that not correct?
What'd you say? Hope and change isn't a platform.
Oh.
No, don't all me. No, come on, be for real. Stop being a kid. That's not a platform.
It's not a platform, but it is
It's nothing. It's the slogan.
Slogan, bro.
It's Make America Great Again. It's Build Back Better. It's a slogan.
It's a slogan.
A platform.
Smoke and mirrors.
It's absolutely political theater, and
Obama
this is
was
also
brilliant. Obama was brilliant. He got everything he wanted in almost 1 or 2 bills within the first 2 years of his presidency, and the rest of his presidency was trying to hold on and maintain what he got. He told us what he was going to get. He got his American Reinvestment Act passed. He got the ACA passed. After that, it was just trying to hold on to everything.
Hold on to everything.
Because at that point, the Tea Party swept in. They took over Senate, and they said, "We're gonna fight you. We're not giving you nothing else from this point on." Well,
they said that publicly. They said that we're gonna be against everything he's for.
I'm tired of all this stuff
he wanted.
I'm tired of all this fluffy talk. We're gonna talk about it, to beef about it, to whatever. But the hard work involves us holding them accountable from the moment they are elected all the way to that midpoint.
And
at that midpoint, we have already cultivated people to replace folks who are sitting in the legislature. If we're not willing to do that work,
as a person who has been a vocal opponent of both political parties for many, many years, I assure you that if you were to come, let's say Biden gets elected, and the very next day, Rasheem gets on the internet and says, we need to hold these people accountable, there will be a horde of people saying that you are a sellout, you are a coon, you are ashy, you don't have the best interests of Black people in mind, you are a traitor, and you are mad because there's a Black woman that's a vice president, and you should be ashamed of yourself, and so on and so forth. You will be dismissed, you will be pushed away. They will not let you sit up there.
I can't wait for it. I can't wait for it, because that's exactly what I'm going to do. I can't wait for it.
Yeah, I don't believe she'll be afforded the same luxuries that Obama was afforded. I just don't.
Who?
Kamala. I don't think she'll be afforded those same luxuries. I think that they will be held accountable by both parties. I think at this point, people are really fed up. There's not a lot of apathy out there. Everybody has a side, so to speak. They know exactly where they are. I don't think there's anybody that's undecided. The gauntlet has been thrown down. It's just a matter of going to battle for it. So,
and then my last question, because this is the first time I must commend you, Rob. Well, tonight y'all had me actually interested in politics. But John, my last question for you, as somebody who's been in politics, and Keltric and Rob's very informed, the scenario that Rob painted of holding them accountable if Biden wins and giving them 3 months, to you, is that actually feasible? Forget the way you think, John, but in a political arena.
No.
Why is that not feasible?
We have no organization. If Rasheem or you name the Black person that tried to step up and say, let's organize this plan and let's do this and let's do that, anybody that comes out there and says something like that is going to be villainized and painted a certain way.
No, I mean, as far as if he did have the masses of people, like the influx of people that came to Breonna, and everything the way Rob painted it.
Right.
Could
All
that
black
happen?
people show up in 3 months and demand reparations or whatever. It would cause enormous upheaval to American society and culture. And before any elected official of the Democratic or Republican Party allowed that to happen, they would announce, martial law. They will simply not allow that. They simply will not. If black people in mass just camped out in front of the White House and was like, we ain't letting shit go by until we get these things that we want, it would cause, that's when the Civil War is going to erupt and so on and so forth. It will not happen. And the first people to ensure that it doesn't happen are going to be black people. Because again, if Rasheem or you name it, anybody stood up and said, hey, y'all, let's hold Biden accountable now that we put him in here, they'd be like, no. Where was you 2 years ago? Let him do what he needs to do. Give him 6 months, give him this, give him that. And then in 6 months, Biden's going to say, well, listen, y'all, I need some more help in the House of Representatives. So in 2022, I got you, black people. Y'all come out and elect me some more representatives. I promise you, I'm going to help you out. And it's going to be the same cycle all over again. And all them same people is going to be like, yep, we need more representatives. We got to get more people in the U.S. House of Reps. We can't vote for and do the things that are in our best interest. We got to worry about everybody else first. Damn that, internet. Anyway.
So wait, so what's your reasonable suggestion? What do you suggest we do instead?
My suggestion is that everybody should vote their conscience. Everybody should vote for the political goals that they find are most in line with their own interests. I do not believe that the Republicans are in your interest. I don't believe that the Democrats are in your interest. And they have a long track record of showing you exactly who they are.
That's your short term. I'm talking the long term to accomplish what you want to see, like namely for you reparations. What has to happen in order to bring that out?
Third party politics. You must have a third party.
What's that mean, Cage?
I understand.
I think that means it's time to wrap it up.
No, that's not. That's just like you ain't got no damn response.
Right.
What does that mean? I just told you what the response was.
You haven't given him a response. Like how Rob painted that picture. So
listen to what I'm saying. Rasheem just said
idealistic. I will say, I'm gonna be the first to say what I painted was an idealistic picture. I want to hear what's ideal for John.
Right.
Like the ideal solution.
The ideal solution is, first of all, let's just say that I don't think that Biden is going to win. I think that Trump's going to win. Let's just say that Biden does win. The ideal solution is going to be, as Biden becomes the mainstream, middle of the road, triangulating Clinton era-esque kind of Democrat that he is, and 2022, people get more and more and more upset.
You're missing my question. I am asking you to tell me, in a perfect world, taking into consideration the system we have, what, and like, not hypothetical, what we have in front of us, what has to happen to get what you want? Don't tell me that Biden is in place and he gonna just like drag us along.
So wait a minute, you said said in a perfect world, but at the same time with what we got, that ain't no perfect world.
No, you tell me what has to happen in order to get what you want.
A third party. I don't understand what y'all
are doing. Now, how do we make that realistically happen?
It's already here. There's already a Green Party. It's already in every state. It's already active.
And how do you make that have a national appeal so that it can get legislation passed?
Keltric, you a fool.
How do you trying to help Ryan out, man? Because
how do you get it elected? Oh, okay. So how do you get it elected? You have to have people that vote for their own conscience and what is in their own interest. Until you get people to that point, and they're not like, well, I don't really like Biden, but I damn sure don't like Trump. I like him more than I dislike him less than I dislike him, so I'm gonna go with him. Why don't you go with somebody that you like? And when we get people to that point, then things will change. But until then, we're going to keep doing the same thing that we've been doing and keep getting the same thing that we've been getting. So now that
Okay.
we completely turned everybody off, and
Real quick, have y'all listened to the brother who's Breonna Taylor's boyfriend's interview?
He always real quick in right when we about to end.
I know.
I did not. I didn't hear dude's interview.
I did. I heard the interview, and he was like, we shouted multiple times asking who is it. So it goes against the cops talking about they announced themselves. They're like, he said, no one announced themselves. We called out.
Even his 911 call, like it's very damning to the narrative that the officers, kind of state. That DA he's a clown, man. He's an ass. That dude is trash, man. Like I don't understand how none of those officers got indicted on any charges, man.
Yeah, he said that they after they shot and it was going to clear the space, she was still alive on the floor, and they pretty much just stepped over her and let her die.
She's gone. She's done or something like that.
Yeah, she's done. And then when he was outside, something to the effect, one of the officers was like, "Yeah," he's like, "Are you hit?" And then he was like, "No." And then the response was something like,
"That's unfortunate."
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Like he felt that if he had died, this whole thing would have been swept under the rug.
Whitewashed.
Yeah. Would have been.
He's suing them for he's only suing them for $10 million. I was like, that's I wish he
one of them things. Well, folks, we've had a wonderful little episode here. Gentlemen, y'all got one last thing for the people? Anything? Any good shows they need to watch? Any movies? Anything?
Lovecraft Country, the season finale is going to be on Sunday. You need to catch up, but I need to check that out.
Yeah, that's a dope show. The Boys on Amazon Prime.
That I like.
Good.
I was watching The Boys and I was watching this joint Evil. It's kind of ill too. So
since it's Halloween,
everybody be safe, man. This it's going to be a really tough period for Black people over the next, or people of all of us over the next 3 or 4 months. It's going to be interesting.
No doubt. Shout out to all the Black fathers out there, man. I love y'all. Everybody on this joint too. No doubt.
One more thing, everybody, it was Halloween season or whatever the case is. There's a real good family-friendly movie on Netflix called Vampires versus the Bronx. Check that out. It was real good. Your kids are going to love that. Everybody check that out. It's real nice. I like that.
Take your ass out there to vote too.
Word. You go. On that note, again, Straight No Chaser the podcast. Please like this, share, subscribe. We're on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Anchor, Spotify, everywhere. So, till next week, gentlemen, I think that's a wrap.
Peace out. Love y'all, man.
Peace. There you go.
What was the people saying over there?
And on that note, we're going to say peace out, God bless, and good night.
Straight, no chaser.